Hello and welcome to another episode of Kid Friendly Games. I'm James, and with Coder Kids, and we're going to get right into it. Today, we're going to review a game that is more colorful than Box of Jelly Beans, although you might confuse it. It is Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Alright, so this is your character, and like I said before, you can confuse it very easily with Box of Jelly Beans because, I mean, look at that guy. He's cute, he looks edible, and before you know it, we're throwing him into the games. So you literally fall into a game of Fall Guys, and the goal is to survive to the end. And keep in mind here, there's only one winner. There are a couple of things along the way that do change the gameplay experience just a little bit, and that is that you get experience at the end of a round, and you can use those experience points to advance through the, similar to Fortnite, their season rewards, which are basically costumes and emotes and things that you can express yourself with, but not anything that's actually going to change the gameplay in a fundamental sense. It is important to know that there is an in-game store that you can purchase things with real currency. So definitely watch out. Last time we checked, this was free on PlayStation Plus, but it was $20 on Steam. That said, you can still spend lots and lots of extra real dollars on this. So that's another something to watch out for. So let's actually jump into what some of these games look like. There are quite a few games, so I'm not going to tell you about all of them, but just so you get kind of an overview, there are games where you run through gates, there are games where you select different tiles, there are games where you run up a hill, there are lots of games where you run up a hill and avoid obstacles. There are games where you're trying to avoid fans, and everything looks like it's made of candy. Alright, now to the ratings. So for the language score, it got a perfect 0. There's really nothing to express here. You're just trying to win a game. And so it's pretty short and simple, and there really is nothing objectionable here. There's not really voice chat. There's nothing that can go wrong so far. There aren't even usernames, but we expect that Devolver Digital will release the username feature pretty soon, and so there can always be kind of spicy stuff in usernames, and that's not something that can be controlled for. But for now, this is great from a language perspective. Another thing Fall Guys does really well is its violence score. Now, we're not giving it a complete 0 like the language score. There are sequences of, like, obviously getting bashed with a giant foam hammer, bumping around, falling off of great heights. All of these things are slightly scary, but they are not truly violent. So that's why it gets a score of a 2. Now for adult material, another great score here, a perfect score of 0. There's absolutely nothing suggestive in here. The characters are jelly beans, for heaven's sakes. They aren't even humanoid, so nothing to worry about in this department. As for lessons, there's similarly nothing. So sometimes if a game has a particularly dark feel or has kind of a deep storyline, you are going to encounter a little bit more violence, a little bit more also of a story and some kind of lesson that goes along with it. Because this game is devoid of any kind of negative anything, you're also not getting anything super positive. You're getting something that's really fun, but there are no lessons here. Now for the fun score. Obviously, this one's going to be a little bit higher than some other games because it is basically entirely fun. If you're not having fun, there's a problem with this game. I would say that it starts out at a 6, ends up at somewhere around a 7, and basically stays there, is quite thrilling at some moments, and then is frustrating in others. So I'd say this is primarily a fun game. We're going to give it a score, a solid score of 7. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on our next review of, hopefully, a kid-friendly game.